Hello, my name is Vanessa Tahay. I've come from Get Lit. I'm one of the Get Lit players, and I will recite a poem for you guys, an original entitled A Dream in 5 Days. Sunday. We get in a car with the coyotes, leaving behind our beautiful country, the one who saw us grow. Monday. We start a new road on our feet. We walked one night, and I already finished my 1 gallon of water. I have nothing else to drink. Wednesday, sitting on a desert, dying for a drop of water. It's not fun thinking about your family, about everyone you left behind. No beauty so close to bones. In less than 1 week, maybe, someone will stare at my skeleton the same way. It isn't entertaining seeing girls getting raped, because if you don't give them one girl, they will take 10. My pillow at night was not soft, and the blanket is not the blanket I have now. My pillow was a bear's skull, and the blanket that kept me warm during unexpected rain was someone's ribs. It's scary running away from migration while carrying a little girl who just lost her mother and father last night. But we all keep running to chase our own American dream. Thursday. The coyotes say we have 2 hours to get to the Rio Bravo. They try to make a joke and say, if you don't know how to swim, I guess you know next time, if there is one that is. Once we get there, we will lose 3 people, a mother and her husband who were searching for a better future for the children back in Guatemala. And the little girl whose clothes were torn off by the coyotes, they told her that this is okay and this happens every day, so open your legs. 3 people swimming at the fast currents of the Rio Bravo in tires. 3 swirling circles. Gone. Friday, 7 p.m. It takes us 5 minutes to swim across the currents of El Rio Bravo. Our dreams a step closer to where we always wanted to be. We look up. Immigration is standing right in front of us. But it doesn't matter, because I will go through all this again to chase my own American dream.
Hello, my name is Marquesha and I am also a Get Lit player and teaching artist with Get Lit Words Ignite. And I'm going to be reciting a original piece for you guys called That Girl. People only see me as that girl. That fat girl, just a little too black girl, always sitting in the back girl, that girl. People tell me, you're weak, girl. No one wants to hear you speak, girl. Look at me. I'm not at your feet, girl. Stop crying, girl. It's not like you're dying, girl. No one will like you for who you are. And your career definitely won't go far. Not with that hair, those clothes, those shoes. You really need to change all of you, girl. Sometimes I tell myself, you know, depression ain't cute, girl. And you should stop waiting and do what you have to do, girl. I mean, if you're going to end it, then do it already, girl. Just make sure you keep your hands steady, girl. You want to get it right, girl. Just wait till night, girl, to get the knife, girl. It only takes one slice, girl. Look at you. Too weak to take your own life, girl. But God told me, Aren't you tired of waiting to die, girl? All you have to do is try, girl. I gave you life to live, girl. I gave you your gift to give, girl. I am always here, girl. It's okay to shed a tear, girl. Just don't fear, girl. Because you are that girl, made strong enough to carry the world on your back, girl. So stand up straight, girl. You will be great, girl. It is your fate, girl. Don't worry about the past. Remember, who is first shall be last. So you've endured the worst, girl. Now it's your turn to be first, girl. Then God held out his hands. He said, take this, girl. Don't waste it, girl. You'll know when to use it, girl. It's a miracle, girl. Like you. You are a miracle, girl.
And now, please welcome David Kipen, founder of community bookstore and lending library Libros, Schmibros.
Hi, and hi. It's an honor to be up here with you. I wish I should probably go off stage and just let you go to town for the next 20 minutes. My first question would be to Vanessa, or it would be to Vanessa first, and then you, Marquesha. I can't wait to hear. What is your American dream?
My American dream will be you're the first person to ask me that. I've never. I always talk about my American dream, but I've never thought of it. But I feel like my American dream would be to finally be accepted here as who I am, and not to be, I guess you can say, judged. Because I have a really thick, I used to have a really thick accent. And so people would know right away I'm from another country, and they will see me differently.
Yeah.
So I don't want them to see me different. Maybe it's good, but.
How will you know when that happens? How will you know what will make you feel accepted?
Oh, because they are friendly to me, and people are talking to me, and then I start talking, and they're like, oh, you're not from here, right? They ask me that, and I'm just like, no, I'm from Guatemala, and all of that. So I wish people would see me as I belong here, and I'm part of them too.
Yeah, it was interesting. We talked earlier, and I asked you where you were from, thinking the answer would be, I don't know, Boyle Heights or Pacific Palisades or wherever. You said Guatemala.
Yeah.
Do you envision a time when the answer to that won't be Guatemala anymore, or it will always be Guatemala?
I feel like it would always be Guatemala, because I've told you, that's been half of my life I've been there. I came here when I was 10, so Guatemala is the place I identify with, and that's my culture, and I just want to keep the culture with me.
And Marquesha, what's your American dream?
My American dream would be to I want, and I can't do this by myself, but I want to make the world a place where you don't have to conform yourself to what everyone thinks you should be or look like or what you should say. I want it to be to where I don't know. I joined the dance team at my school.
Yeah.
And I'm the biggest person on my dance team. And so it's always that battle. But I can really dance. So so I feel it's I'm looked at as not the best dancer because I'm bigger than everyone else.
Yeah.
But just stuff like that. I don't want it to be that way. I want to live in a world where you don't have to be okay, well, if I want to join dance, then I have to be this size in order for me to do it. I want to just be able to go up there and go with my team and dance, and then get off stage and everyone looks at it oh, okay, there was a bunch of dancers oh no, okay, that's the fat girl, So that's pretty much my American dream.
Thank you. Now, I guess there's a tendency, if only at a race and justice conference, to talk about people of color as if they were all of the same color. I'm kind of curious. You've been in LA for, I think you said 7 or 8 years. You've been in LA most of your life, from Texas originally. What would your guess be about how your experience as a Guatemalan and yours as an African American are different from each other?
Well, honestly, I feel there is a difference between me and Marquesha, as you can say. But
I mean, I know you're friends.
so
that's
yeah,
not the
we
issue.
are friends. Yeah, but like, I feel like I know from being a person of color.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't get as much benefits, as you can say, because I had this experience where I was shopping with my mother, and like this lady comes up to me and she tells me, "Where are you from?" I'm like, "I'm from Guatemala," and since I guess I look like I'm Filipino or something like that, she's like, "You're Filipino, right?" I'm like, "No, I'm Guatemalan." And she's like, how do you learn Spanish? She wanted me to tell her that I am not who I am, And I feel like that's a struggle that we have, us Latinos, because they think we all look the same. We all speak the same language. We all have that. So like we have that tag that you are Latino, so you're this and you're that, and so like we kind of get labeled without telling them who we really are. And I feel like something we have in common. Like we're like, okay, you're all this color, so you're all this, and you guys are all this and that. Like, you guys are bad people, as you can say, and some people are like, I'm not, I'm a poet, I write, I go to school,
That's what when anybody thinks you're a bad person, take it from me. I'm an old book critic. Just say you're a poet. Love you. And you, Marquesha, do you think your experience how would your experience be different from that of young Latina in Los Angeles?
I really, I have these conversations with my friends a lot. I don't think like that there's a big difference. I mean, there might be like in the way that people offend us would be different, but
oh, that's great. That's great.
But
let me ask you, you're in Los Angeles. Maybe it isn't super easy to tell because you've been here for a while, but maybe you're in touch with relatives or friends elsewhere. How do you feel it is to grow up in Los Angeles? And how do you feel about Los Angeles? Does it feel like, rah, rah, I'm a Dodger fan? Or does it feel like, everybody wants me to conform and I can't wait till I get out of here?
Well, I think it's bittersweet. Like, I love where I'm from. It's a different vibe in Texas. It's like very different, but it's it's just good things about being here, and then there's your it's a very like I think of Los Angeles as a very like showcase city, so it's very like, look at me, but so it gets kind of hard with that when everybody wants that look at me kind of vibe, and if you're not like, sometimes I can be kind of like an introvert, and I can be quiet, and people will look at that and be like, oh, I don't want to be your friend because you're a bummer, but you don't even get to know me. I'm just quiet, and I like to observe for a while. And with the vibe being so like out there here, that doesn't work a lot for me. So.
And how about you, Vanessa? Will there be a time when people ask you where you're from, and how does it feel to be an Angelino? I know that wouldn't be your first answer, but what's it like growing up in Los Angeles, do you think, compared to other places?
Okay, I'll be honest, the only places I've been to is Washington, D.C., thanks to Get Lit, and L.A. So I've been here in L.A. my entire life, and I feel like I get great opportunities from Get Lit, but I can only do specific things because from my immigration status, I can't push myself a little bit more. So I feel like LA would be like maybe the best place where I can, like her, like, this is me, I do this, I do poetry, I write, please let me push myself a little bit. Allow me to do all these things. But I feel like LA would be, for me, it would be that place where it would let me do other things.
Well, let's talk a little bit about poetry. I mean, I write about literature for the paper and run this lending library, and how did you get jazzed about reading and writing in the first place, Marquesha?
Well, I started writing poetry and didn't know I was writing poetry.
What do you mean?
So I started writing when I was 9, and I had went through some things, and I couldn't tell my mom. I didn't have anybody to talk to. So I just started writing about it, and so when I was 11 years old, like 3 days before my 11th birthday, my great aunt, she was a little bit kind of like psychic, and she's like, something's wrong with you, and you need to get it off your chest before your 11th birthday. And I'm like, okay. And so I went and I read what I've been writing to my mom for the first time, and she's like, "You've been writing poetry this whole time?" And I was like, "Oh, that's what you call it." And so, and after that, I started performing at my church like every once in a while. And when I was 15, I got involved with Get Lit, and I had been searching for like a youth-based thing that I could perform, because every open mic I'd look up was like 18 and over, 21 and over, and I'm like, I'm only 15. And so once I found Get Lit, it was just a breath of fresh air to find youth poets that like enjoyed the same things I enjoyed.
Mm-hmm. And Vanessa, how did you get in on
Okay,
poetry?
it's such a funny story. Okay, I started writing my story on how I crossed the border and how like I I wanted to get it out there, but since us immigrants live in such a fear that we don't want anyone to hear who we are, things like that, so I just wrote it in a book. And Get Lit has this thing called classic slam poetry. So, and it's classic poems. We memorize a classic poem and we write a response to that poem. And my favorite teacher, Lauren Koenig, she told me, Vanessa, I need you to do this. I need you to get your story out. So I was like, I guess I can do that if you help me. So that's how I got involved with it. And we have this club at our school, Cleveland High School. It's called Poetry Club.
Yeah.
So I went there and but I wasn't involved. It was my brother, and he told me, you should join this club. This kid you like goes there. So I'm like, okay, I can go because the guy I like goes there. So I went, and he only went once, and then he stopped going. I was like, okay. And yeah.
I'm curious, when you do your classmates know that you read and write poetry, and if so, do they think that's really cool, or do they think you're a freak?
Oh, no, actually, my friends support me a lot.
Oh.
Yeah, thanks to them, I'm pushing myself more. I tell them I have a show, and they're like, good luck, Vanessa, you look pretty, you look beautiful. And they send me messages, say good luck, and hashtag, my best friend is doing this. Yeah, they support me a lot.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
Now, I'm going to open up questions in a minute, but selfishly, I got a question. I teach writing at UCLA. And I'm always putting together a syllabus. I'm trying to figure out what to make the students read to make them into better writers. And I've chosen California writing, writers from California, as a way to sort of organize it. And I think of all my favorite California writers. I'll throw recommendations at you, just as names. Ambrose Bierce, John Muir, Raymond Chandler, Joan Didion. And then I think, where are the writers of color? Do you care what color the people you write, the people you read are?
For me, honestly, when I read a poem, I have to connect with it.
Yeah.
I don't basically, it has to be, they have to be poets from same color as me or things like that. I just look for specific things into a poem. For example, my favorite poet's Pat Mora.
Yeah.
She writes poems about immigration, Hispanic, and how culture in United States and how our culture is and how we should develop our culture and let it stay with us. And that's where I look for a poem, especially for me. I just have them to talk about culture, and I'm like, I love this poem.
And if we turn it around, do you care what color your readers are?
I don't. I
kind of a double standard, isn't it?
Yeah, basically, I mean, there are some poets there that write about, they are right on what they're writing. For example, I've read this poem, I forgot the author, and he wrote about how us Hispanic people are being downgraded, that we are and I'm just I like this poet because he's speaking the truth and everything like that. So first I read the poem, and then I found out about the poet, and then well,
you can do that in the Atlanta magazine. Unfortunately, there's only one poem per issue, unlike half a dozen the way it used to be. But oh well, at least there's poetry and not fiction, which left years ago. Let's ask a question.
Jody Geddes. First off, I want to say thank you so much for being in this space and being authentic. I think we need to continue to amplify the voices of our young people, especially young people that are marginalized continuously by our system of oppression. And so my question to you is, as incredible young people, what advice do you have for other young people in the room about how they can continue to amplify their voices and tell their stories?
Well, I would just say to all the young people, we have so many outlets now. Like, we have so many ways to get our voice out there. Like, so I would just say, whatever your way is, like, you know, like I do poetry, but everybody doesn't do poetry. I have a friend who cooks, you know, and she just created her own catering company, you know, and so I would just say, whatever you do, you know, just get it out there as much as possible. Don't ever think, you know, oh, I can't do this because, you know, no, like a lot of people told me, like, don't do poetry, go to this school and do this and get this job, and that's gonna be way better for you. And it wasn't way better for me. This is way better for me. So stay true to what you believe and support your other young people. Like my friend, when she first started out, she had trouble with her own friends, her own people, like supporting her catering company. You know what I mean? So I would just say support your friends, support, you know, other young people, support just, you know, the local, you know, business and culture, and that's gonna get everybody's voice higher. Don't be crabs in a bucket, you know? Just
Have we got another one? Yes.
Hi. Hi, my name's Michelle Lee. I'm a high school English teacher. I teach at Lawndale. It's about 10 minutes south of LAX. I'm playing hooky right now. But I was wondering, and if you don't mind, I want to record it because I want to send it to my students or just show them this at class. Last year we had a lot of tensions on campus. They were like black versus brown tensions. They kind of erupted in fights on campus and things like that. And I see you two ladies up there, and it's so encouraging, and you become a voice. But I have students who don't necessarily have the same perspectives or believe the same things. What would you say to, I mean, even students that you might be walking amongst in your own high schools, what would you say to them to try to tackle those types of issues? And what would be like the message that you would want to give?
I would tell them, like, when you drag your peers down, you're dragging yourself down. You know, you may not see it that way at the moment, but like me and Vanessa, if I was to like drag Vanessa down, like when she does her poetry or talk about her or want to fight her just because she's different than me, like we want this change and we want this social justice and we want people to look at us, you know, equally. So how can we say, okay, you know what, you look different than me, so I'm not gonna like you, you know what I mean? But we want that person to like us even though we look different. You get what I'm saying? It's like a double standard. You can't be that way, you know? And then like our experiences are not that different from each other. I mean, the things that we've been through in life may be different, but we all go through stuff. So you never know what this person is going through at home or what that person is going through at home. So when I would just say, when you come together and you're with your peers, just keep that in mind. Keep in mind you're going through something and they're going through something. So don't speak negatively.
Yeah.
Have we got time for another? By all means.
Hi, I'm Stephanie. I want to thank you both very much. My question to you is, a couple of people have asked what you would say to other young people, and I'm curious what you'd say to the old people in the room.
I would honestly, now more than ever, we need your support. We need you guys to be with us in whatever we do, because right now it's up to us to change what's happening in the world. It's up to us to speak up for ourselves, and we need you guys to support. We don't need you guys to leave us alone, you know. So we need like you guys to be our friends, you guys to understand everything that's going through and what we are all going through, and we just need you guys as a backbone in case we fall.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think we sadly have to round it off. Everybody's getting all this great advice from you. I mean, I guess all I would say by way of conclusion is I would so love to see you both come to Boyle Heights, and so that I could lend you a book or two at Libros Schmibros. It's been an honor to share a couple of couches with you, and let's give them another round of applause.
Thank you.